G'day guys, Callum from Go Travel in the garage with the donkey. Today we are playing with a cover. So, dual cab utes, you need something to cover the tray, to protect your stuff. Now I do love Damo's Ute Master load lid, I think it's great. The only issue is I don't think it's over 4 grand great. So for me, I ummed and ahed about hard covers, soft covers, and at the end of the day I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So I figured I'm just going to put a soft cover on this. So what I have here is just the Ford factory soft cover. I believe these are made by EGR. Yeah, there is a bit of method to my madness. The reason I went with the Ford cover or the EGR style cover is when you lock the ute, the tailgate automatically locks. So the way these are set up is the way it locks in. As soon as you lock the ute, you actually can't get into the hard cover unless you pull the tailgate down. So I think it's probably not a bad option when it comes to soft covers. Now, I initially thought that this would be a pretty straightforward install. I thought a couple of bolts, but as it turns out, you've got to drill some big holes. Seems to come with pretty good instructions, so let's get into it. We'll drill some holes in this thing and we'll get this thing mounted up and we'll see how she looks. Hopefully it's going to be good. Worst case, we can always put a hard cover on it later. 22mm hole saw. One thing I did do is I went and bought myself a fancy set of digital calipers so I can measure this out. So the instructions are pretty good. They show you the side profile of the ute, the curve at the front, and then it delves into like the micro breakdown of it, which makes it a little bit easy to mark it out. I've got my blue marks marked out. And all we'll do before we drill these holes, we'll just put the brackets on and make sure they roughly line up with where we're going to cut the holes. But all in all, it looks pretty straightforward. Now this front piece is pretty straightforward. There's a little captive nut that drops in the center and then just the factory bolt holes either side. There are a few little rivet holes that have to happen, so we'll just drill them with that on, it'll be fine. We're about to drill these holes, same thing on this side. Looks like it sits roughly right. With where it's actually marked, well, you can put your finger under it and you feel there's like a captive nut already roughly in the place. This one here's got a hole and this one here feels like it's got a nut as well. So all them holes, you can feel that they roughly line up. So let's drill her and see what happens. Sidebars are all in. Bolts are all just sitting there loosely. You can see this front piece. I think we need to loosen that bolt off and then it'll slide into there. And then that just sort of locks into place. And then we've got all these bolt holes along the top of it to secure it. So we'll get that loosely fit, we'll put the crossbars in, that should give us our alignment and then we'll tighten everything else up. So one thing I worked out, you need to put this end in before you put the sides on. It's actually a bit of a shit setup. And there's a couple of little retaining bolts that hold it all together. So I had to unbolt all the sides, but they're rebolted now. Once the bolts are done, you can put the little black plugs on to cover the holes. There's 5 bolts that run along the front. Put all them in, do them up. You should be able to test fit this now. Should be right. I was sitting here going, what the hell is going on with this thing? I couldn't get the lock in. That's what I was looking at. Then I realised they're a black plastic cover. Pull these covers off. And then... oh, that's magic. Locks in. How good's that? If I'm right, should be able to open and close tailgate with it on. Which you can. This little grab handle under here. And just folds up. Black lip there. Just pull that down. This actually shuts really good. Oh, that's tight as. Beautiful. That is beautiful and clean. It'd be good if that sat a little bit tighter, but whatever. For the most part, it's good. Then no way in. Of course, if you really wanted to get into it, you could just cut it, but it'll keep the honest people out if nothing else. So that is a nice, clean, tidy setup. One thing I'll say, which I just realised then, is when I shut the tailgate, it had timed out because I hadn't opened any of the doors and it automatically locked itself. So be careful, because if you had your keys in the back of the tray, you actually can't get into the car. So you could actually lock yourself out of the car. So it does have a couple of little tie down straps, so you can roll it up out of the way on the headboard. That's kind of cool. I guess you got to be careful the metal bits don't smash the glass, but I think you could roll it better so it stays away. I'm in two minds. I like how it sits and looks sleek, but I'm not 100% sure I like that you can't take it off easily. When it's locked in and everything's clipped in, peeling it out, it's a little bit hard. I think as it gets older, that'll loosen up. Yeah, I think for what it is, it's not a bad option. I think I paid about 900 bucks, 800 bucks, something like that, when I ordered it from Ford. I've seen EGR have them a bit cheaper, I think, but when you look at sort of getting close to that green, there's a few hardcovers in that you can buy for about 1,500. So, tough decision again. Me personally, have an idea with the soft cover on it, like the idea that I can easily roll it out of the way. The crossbars, I reckon you could just pop them out, put them in as you roll it up. These are the straps. It's like a little, I don't know, I guess like a cam buckle tightener. So it should be easy enough to secure out of the way. So I like the idea that it's easy to use your ute as a ute. Not that you're going to be hauling much in these things anyway. There you have it. That is the Ford factory. Pretty certain it's an EGR soft cover. Look, installation easy enough. Don't know what Ford charge to install these things, but I guess you probably knock it over in about an hour and a half, 2 hours, something like that. Wouldn't be much more than that. Easy enough job to do yourself. I do like how sleek it is. I like how it sits. We'll see if it stays tight over time. I think it just adds to the clean, simple look that I'm going for on the Raptor Ranger. I like it. Love to hear your thoughts and opinions. Let me know. What do you think? Hate it, love it. Should have I not been a tight ass and bought a load lid like Damo? As always, if you like what you see, feel free to subscribe. And until next time, go travel.